안녕하세요. 준수자매 레미입니다. 네, 제가 오랜만에 동영상을 찍어보는데요. 오늘은 요 빨간색 새한 머리띠지만 어떤 머리띠를 하고 왔습니다. 이거 산 거 아니고요. 제가 직접 만든 수제 머리띠입니다. 제가 양몸꽁이라는 그런 공예 종목 어쨌든 그런 양말목공예라는 그런 게 있거든요. 그래서 제가 어떻게 이제 현장 체험 학습으로 그걸 처음에 하다가 너무 재밌는 거예요. 그래서 한번 해보고 맛을 들여가지고요. 이 머리띠까지 만들었습니다. 지금은 좀 흥미가 떨어져서 잘 안 하고 있지만 예전에 많이 좀 좋아했을 때 그때 만들었던 머리띠인데 이쁘죠? 어쨌든 머리띠 얘기는 이만하고 제가 요번에는 로알드의 책을 읽어보려고 합니다. 근데 이게 좀 어렵긴 해요. 어려운데 그래도 천천히 쉬우니까 천천히 조금씩 이어가면 될 것 같아요. 제가 저번에 13 Story Tree House 1권까지 썼잖아요. 근데 거기에서 26 Story Tree House 있거든요. 그걸 해도 되는데 제가 왜 이걸 하냐면은 이게 그것보다 더 재밌어요. 로아달 책이 저 나무집보다 훨씬 재밌어요. 저 나무집도 재밌긴 재밌어요. 근데 이게 훨씬 재밌어요. 스토리가 다 재밌는 그런 스토리예요. 뭐 마틸다나 찰리의 초콜릿 공장 이런 것도 다 로ald 다hl 영화잖아요. 원작이잖아요. 그래가지고 재밌어가지고 여러분들한테 소개를 하려고 이렇게 읽게 되었습니다. 그리고 제가 언젠지 모르겠지만 컴퓨터 2월 중순쯤 컴퓨터 시험을 쳤거든요. 근데 그게 3월 3일에 날짜가 나와요. 근데 지금이 3월 7일이란 말이에요. 그래서 합격으로 날라왔어요. 너무 기쁘죠? 근데 자격증이 아직 안 왔어요. 자격증은 모든 시험 다 친 다음에 합쳐서 다시 준대요. 근데 그 시험이 언제까지 끝날지 모르겠어요. 지금 아마 끝나지 않을까요? 그죠? 막 파워포인트 말고도 제가 친 시험이 파워포인트였거든요. 파워포인트 말고 뭐 엑셀, 한글, 멀티미디어 많거든요. 어쨌든 그래가지고 언제 자격증을 받을 수 있지 모르겠지만 받자마자 바로 영상 올리겠습니다. 그러면 책을 읽으러 가볼까요? 지금 제가 실패해서 지금 어떤 건 카메라가 쓰러지고 어떤 거는 이상하게 찍히고 있잖아요. 그래가지고 지금 3번째 찍는 동영상이에요. 이 영상이 꼭 올라가면 좋겠습니다. 그리고 저번에 제가 중간중간에 맨 처음 중간중간 아니고 맨 처음에 자막을 넣지 싶어요. 그래가지고 한번 시도해봤는데 좀 어렵네요. 맨날 계속 말마다 자막을 넣는 것도 힘들고 왜 편집이 오래 걸리는지 알겠어요. 왜 알 것 같아요. 예전에는 몰랐는데 제가 직접 하고 나니까 왜 힘든지 알 것 같아요. 그러면은 이제 책을 읽으러 갑시다. 네, 제가 오늘 읽어볼 책은 로ald dahl, The Giraffe and the Pelly and Me 라는 책인데요. 되게 재밌어요. 뭔가 유머도 좀 들어가 있고 재밌어요. 발랄한 책이고요. 그리고 지금 이렇게 너무 밝은 거는 지금 진짜 밝죠. 지금 그 방에 제가 찍고 있는 방에 불빛이 너무 좀 어둡기도 하고 또 휴대폰 그림자 때문에 가려서 안 보이더라고요. 그래가지고 저희 집에 이렇게 미니 조명이 있어가지고 한번 비춰봤는데 좀 더 잘 보이시죠? 안 그러면 이렇게 어둡게 되기 때문에 책이 잘 안 보이고요. 이렇게 해놔야 그래도 좀 더 잘 보이는 느낌인 것 같아요. 제 생각에는. 그래가지고요. 이렇게 해놓으면 되고요. 자, 그럼 이제 읽도록 하겠습니다. Roald Dahl, The Giraffe and the Pelly and Me. Not far from where I live, there is a queer old empty wooden house standing all by itself on the side of the road. I long to explore inside it, but the door is always locked, and when I peer through a window, all I can see is darkness and dust. I know the ground floor used once to be a shop because I can still read the faded lettering across the front which says The Grubber. My mother has told me that in our part of the country in the olden days, a grubber was another name for a sweet shop. And now every time I look at it, I think to myself what a lovely old sweet shop it must have been. On the shop window itself somebody has painted in white the word for sale. One morning I noticed that for sale had been scraped off the shop window, and in its place somebody had painted sold it. I stood there staring at the new writing and wishing like mad that it had been me who had bought it, because then I would have been able to make it into a grubber all over again. I have always longed to own a sweet shop. The sweet shop of my dreams would... Oh, wait a second. Oh, there it is. For sale. The and the boy here. Be loaded from top to bottom with sherbet suckers and caramel fudge and Russian toffee and sugar snorters and butter gumballs and thousands of other glorious things like that. Oh boy, what I couldn't have done with that old grubber shop if it had been mine. On my next visit to the grubber, I was standing across the road gazing at the wonderful old building when suddenly an enormous bathtub came sailing out through one of the second floor windows and crashed right onto the middle of the door. Ooh, my. Oh, here it is, the grubber. Sold. Ooh, hey, what's this mess? Oh my gosh. A few months later, a white porcelain laboratory pen with the wooden seat still on it came flying out of the same window and landed with a wonderful splintering crash just beside the bathtub. This was followed by a kitchen sink and an empty cannery cage and a 4-poster bed and 2 hot water bottles and the rocking horse and the sewing machine and goodness knows what else besides. It looked as though some madman was ripping out the whole of the inside of the house, because now pieces of staircase and bits of the banisters and a whole lot of old floorboards came whistling through the windows. Then there was silence. I waited and waited, but not another sound came from within the building. I crossed the road and stood right under the windows and called out, "Is anybody at home?" There was no answer. In the end, I began to get dark, so I had to turn away and start walking home. But you can bet your life nothing was going to stop me from hurrying. Back there again tomorrow morning to see what the next surprise was going to be. When I got back to the Grubber house the next morning, the first thing I noticed was the new door. The dirty old brown door had been taken out, and in its place someone had fitted a brand new red one. New door was fantastic. It was twice as high as the other door had been, and it looked ridiculous. I couldn't begin to imagine who would want a tremendous tall door like that in his house unless it was giant. As well as this, somebody had scraped away the sold notice on the shop window, and now there was a whole lot different writing all over the glass. I stood there reading it, and trying to figure out what on earth it all meant. Ooh, what a tall door! So tall! Wow! Ooh! Wow! I tried to catch some sign or sound of movement inside the house, but there was none. Until all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed that one of the windows on the top floor was slowly beginning to open outwards. Then a head appeared at the open window. I stared at the head. The head stared back at me with big, round, dark eyes. Suddenly, second window was flung wide open, and of all the crazy things, a gigantic white bird hopped out and perched on the windowsill. I knew what this one was because its amazing beak, which was shaped like a huge orange-colored basin, the pelican... Sorry. The pelican looked down at me and sang out, "Oh, how I wish for a big fat fish. I'm as hungry as ever could be. A dish of fish is my only wish. How far are we from the sea?" "We're a long way from the sea," I called back to him. "But there is fishmonger in the village not far away." "A fish what?" "A fishmonger." "Now what on earth would that be?" asked Pelican. I have heard of a fish pie and a fish cake and a fish finger, but I have never heard of a fishmonger. Are these mongoose good to eat? This question baffled me a bit, so I said, Who is your friend in the next window? Is the giraffe, the pelican answered. Is she not wonderful? Her legs are on the ground floor, and her head is looking out of the top window. And as if all this wasn't enough, the window on the first floor was now flung out wide open, and out popped a monkey. Yeah, monkey. The monkey stood on the windowsill and did a jiggly little dance. He was so skinny he seemed to be made only out of furry bits of wire, but he danced wonderfully well, and I clapped and cheered and did a little dance myself in return. Wow! We are the window cleaners, sang out the monkey. We will polish your glass till it's shining like brass, and it sparkles the sun and the sea. We are quick and polite, we will come day or night, the giraffe and the belly and me. We're a fabulous crew, we know just what to do, and we never stop work to drink tea. All your doors or your windows will glow when we give them a go, the giraffe and the pally and me. We use water and soap, plus some kindness and hope, but we never use ladders, not we. Who needs ladder at all when you're 30 feet tall? Not giraffe, not Pelly, not me. 자, 여기까지 끊고 12페이지까지 끊고 다음에 또 하도록 하겠습니다. 그럼 안녕! 다음에 또 봐요.